And also, before in our last segment, I asked Tina and Miriah, there's variations, all of them that I just mentioned, the sexual, the mental, the physical, financial, with what, your treatment and what you do provide to help support survivors. I asked, does it vary? It's not a one-size-fits-all, but like how does your support vary between those different types of abuse, would you say?
Every treatment plan is personalized regardless of what is happening, but it just depends on how you present. Like some patients, they can't sleep because their anxiety is keeping them up all night, and or they can't focus on what they're supposed to be doing during the day. Like regardless of all of this that's going on, you still have to live your life outside of the relationship, whether it's work or kids or school, and you have to be able to function. So just looking at the patient and tailoring the medications to what fits for them.
Sure, definitely.
But I do need to say, like, medications do not treat domestic violence. Patients have come in and asked for pills just to help them get through their relationships. Yeah. Like that's not.
That's a temporary fix, would you say? Yes. You need something more long term. Yeah. Okay. I want to, I have a question that I would love all your perspective on. The services you provide are amazing and are definitely effective in what survivors need for sure. How could someone like myself, who I don't specialize in all of the things that you guys specialize in, but how can I help support, the community survivors? Do you have any suggestions on how I could just do it on my own and help? What resources are available to me to help outside that?
So there are so many groups out there that do help with domestic violence and child abuse, and you can go online to find them. If you particularly want to help Mikosplace, we do have various events that we get volunteers for, so we'll do community outreach. Our last one was supposed to be at a college campus, which we had to reschedule because of all of the snow and my broken ankle, but we'll be doing that. So we go into schools, we go into colleges. The next step that we'd like to do is go into hospitals. We do have a lot of our material out and our awareness with doctors as well. They've included questions on their questionnaire so that way they can get a better understanding of who may need some support and help. So spreading the word is a really big way to do that. But also, unfortunately, it's very expensive for us to provide these, these type of services because we don't want the cheap, we want really good services that would help them, continue to stay out of that environment and also move forward. So donating time and money are very, very helpful. So you could go to mikosplace.org and check us out, see what events we have coming up. You could sign up, but also you can, if you decide to donate, we have a link for that as well. But all of our donations go directly towards our victims. Yes. Anything that we make, we just want to give back, Absolutely. So that's our whole goal.
My next question was, where can they find you? So Mikosplace.org.
Mikosplace.org.
Any social media platforms?
Yes, we're all over social.
Mikosplace?
Yes.
Okay.
And then one of the things that we do, if you do know somebody that you think may be a victim, or even if you want to get outreach out there, we can also meet up with you and give you, like what I have are flashlights with QR codes, as well as stickers and chapsticks. But a lot of times we do have those brochures that you can hand out, but I know being a victim that I would never take a brochure home. I would just throw it out. But a lot of times the QR codes are what a lot of younger adults, even teenagers, were reaching out to schools, middle schools and high schools. That's a little bit more subtle. So you're giving something that's an item of value that they can use, but most likely the abuser's not really going to pay attention to what it says. Sure. So even when we team up with schools, that's another place you could volunteer at. We also partner with Safe to Say, that number. So there's a number there that they can call the children that they could report domestic violence, or if they feel that teen domestic violence is another thing that's happening and you can't stop it. It's just rampant. So creating that awareness for that as well is what we do too. So anything you can do to help us with that.
Yeah. Anybody else want to share? Or does she nail it on that?
She nailed it.
Sound good. Yeah. Figured that. All right. So we got you know how to reach Mikosplace, how to find them. We know. So viewers, please take note of that because I know I will be as well. I would love as well for you guys just to kind of just share anything with our viewers, any feedback, advice that you can give to our viewers, survivors, about their safety and worth. What would you say to them?
I would love to say that about the victim profile, actually. Yeah. A lot of times there's this misconception about the victim profile that it's usually women is what people assume. It's a certain type of woman, a certain socioeconomic class, a certain level of education. And really, domestic violence hits everyone. Yeah. And what we've learned through research is that there's actually 2 trait elevations in victims that is more of an indicator of them being susceptible to domestic violence than anything else. And so family history matters, but this is actually even more critical than that. So in just really simple terms, all of us have a personality. It makes us uniquely us. Our personality is made up of traits at different elevations. And so you and I might have the same exact traits, but at different levels, which makes us ever so slightly different in how we present in the world and how we navigate. And so these 2 trait elevations are an agreeableness and conscientiousness. These make you great in any relationship, workplace, friend, romantic partner, family member. They show signs of psychological maturity and emotional depth. And however, what victims don't realize is that they're vulnerabilities to abusers. And why they're vulnerabilities is because these 2 trait elevations make you highly empathetic. They make you be very tolerant of people's quirks. Mm-hmm. They make you have a win-win orientation when it comes to communication and conflict. However, abusers have one orientation, which is win-lose. And they operate by a really high code of ethics and morals and believe that if I invest in the relationship, I'm going to eventually get the return on investment. Mm-hmm. So it makes victims overinvest past the point of relationship expiration. Sure. And so I always like to share this with my victims and my survivors because it's so important for them to know that the thing that makes them that made them vulnerable isn't because there's anything wrong with them. It's about how great and wonderful they are that made them attractive. Sure. And so that's a really important piece that I would like to communicate to the audience today.
That's amazing. That's great. Any other advice, Tina, Stephanie, would you like to share? Safety and worth, anything you could share to help and motivate, empower?
I just want you to know if you're a victim or a survivor and you want to thrive, of course, reach out to us, but we believe you. That is the biggest thing, is that not feeling believed and being afraid to leave because you don't think that somebody's going to believe you. But I believe you, and there are a lot of people out there that believe you, and there really is light at the end of the tunnel. We work together. We're a community, so we're not just going to leave you hanging. So we want you to call us, and we want you to reach out, and just like a sponsor, we want to be there for you. Sure. So
okay.
I agree with Tina and Miriah. The biggest thing I think is validating someone's feelings. Victims can have self-doubt and start justifying somebody's horrible actions, and then they start to believe their story, and it's a scary place to be. So just make sure their feelings are validated.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Now, just a second of your time before we leave. I like to leave on a good note. I do host a show on this network, Nostalgics, and before we leave, we bring up a feel-good moment to the viewers. So real quick, favorite song, favorite book that uplifts you, brings you, you're feeling down and makes you happy. Anything, song, book, movie.
Live Like a Warrior. Actually, my husband found it for me. It's by an artist named Modest Yahoo, and it is so upbeat and positive, and it just puts me in a great headspace.
Awesome. I'll look into that.
Yeah. I guess for me, it's a song that probably a lot of people know, but I'm a survivor. It actually means something to me because I am a survivor, and I'm no longer a victim. So when I hear it, a lot of times I might be on the road heading to a listing appointment, and I'll actually play that. It's not, because it just cheers me up, and it just reminds me that I'm here and I'm okay.
Amazing.
I'm picking Life of a Showgirl, the entire album. But really, it shows you can be happy again, regardless of what happened before, there's light.
Yeah, absolutely, love it. Just want to say thank you so much, Tina, Miriah, Stephanie, for sharing your story today. I'm touched. Again, I admire you. Viewers, if anything you take away from this, please know that you're not alone and you have support, okay? Love shouldn't hurt. Thank you for joining. I'm your host, Alicia Wade King, and until next time, bye.